Very often, one simple mistake can be the sign of a much bigger challenge or problem. For example, many non-native English speakers will pronounce this word too much like this, and this mistake points to a much wider issue they have with the way they're pronouncing words in English, which applies to thousands of words, which applies to every single sentence in conversation. So yes, I'm going to show you this one simple pattern today with words like you see here, but also I'm going to show you how it applies to many other patterns which all have this one big thing in common. And working on this one big thing with the process I'm going to show you is going to help you get much better clarity so you're understood first time as a non-native English speaker and a much more natural rhythm of speech. Let's get started. So let me show you the difference this makes in a sentence, because then you can really hear the rhythmic difference. So I'll start off giving you a before, the incorrect version, and then I'll say the word hopeless correctly as I normally would. So before would sound something like, I had a hopeless feeling. I had a hopeless feeling. And after correctly sounds like, I had a hopeless feeling. I had a hopeless feeling. What's going on here? Well, there are numerous things we can speak about here, but the biggest thing, probably, is all about not necessarily the stress, but there's one thing making a difference to rhythm, which actually isn't rhythm itself, not directly. It's actually a mouth shape, a vowel sound. So what is a vowel sound? It is a mouth shape. A vowel sound is simply a shape I make with my lips and my tongue through which I send the vibration. E, o, a. I'm making different shapes with my lips and tongue, with my mouth, and I'm sending the vibration through that space, and the way I change the shape changes the quality of sound. So when I say hopeless, less, then I'm using an e vowel sound. We call this the dress vowel because it has the same vowel you hear in the word dress. My lips are smiling, my mouth is a little bit open, less. And that's the sound we have in the word less by itself. But when I say hopeless, I don't do the same thing. I use a different vowel shape, and that particular vowel shape is crucial to get a better rhythm of speech, because the vowel shape is more lazy. I'm not going to smile this time. I'm not going to open my mouth vertically. Instead, I'm going to keep my lips and my tongue very neutral in a resting position. And rather than going less, instead, I'm going to go lis. And I'm going to say, I had a hopeless feeling. Hopeless, hopeless. So can you see how just changing the vowel shape, the mouth shape, can help change the rhythm? Part of that is length too, because this sound I'm making in hopeless, this lazy sound I'm making, is shorter. It's super short, but a big part of it, a big part which is going to help us make it short, you could say, is by moving our mouths less. If I instead open my mouth this way and make a dress vowel, it will sound like the word less, and crucially the rhythm will be quite off, because suddenly the rhythm sounds like I had a hopeless feeling. Hopeless, it's like less has a beat in the rhythm of speech. We don't want that. Instead, we want to say I had a hopeless feeling. That's the difference. We could take this to another example. A word like weightless has the same pattern, has this less ending. And that's the first pattern I'm showing you. Yeah? Words like less tend to have this lazy sound at the end. Making a lazier mouth shape will help the rhythm of speech. This sound we're talking about is called the schwa vowel sound. You'll be very familiar with it if you've been following this series so far. But if not, then that's fine. Just know that, like I said, the lips are neutral, the tongue is neutral, the sound is short. Watch yourself in the mirror, see if you're doing that when you're saying hopeless and weightless. So the first pattern, yes, involves words with the less ending, and there are more words like it, like useless and formless, yeah, and thankless. Can you hear the rhythm of that? Useless, formless, thankless, weightless, hopeless. Making that part lazy is helping the rhythm and of course helping clarity, so it doesn't sound like I'm hoping less and I want to wait less time. No, it's hopeless and I'm feeling weightless. Let me give you another sentence. I felt completely weightless. I felt completely weightless. Just tune into the rhythm of speech as I'm saying this, right? I felt completely weightless. I do not say, I felt completely weightless. I felt completely weightless. You hear the difference? When I'm not doing it quite right, when I'm not getting the rhythm of speech right, it's because I'm not using a neutral vowel sound at all in any of the words. I felt completely weightless. This is not how I normally do it. I'm just demonstrating what many non-native English speakers will do. I felt completely weightless. I felt completely weightless. Every part sounds very equal. Every single syllable sounds equal in importance because there's no lazy sound. There's no lazy mouth shape. I, or e, a. Yeah, there's nothing lazy about that. But I am lazier than that. I am selectively lazy, as I've been calling it in this series. And I say I felt completely weightless. So I'm making weightless. At the end, I'm making that lazier, and I'm also making the beginning of the word completely, that part, I'm making that lazier too, in exactly the same way. It has the same sound. Completely, the the O spelling in the part of completely has exactly the same vowel sound as the letter E in weightless and hopeless. Yeah, completely and weightless. Yeah, less. It's the same neutral mouth space. Many non-native English speakers don't do that. They would round their lips for completely, and they would maybe stretch their lips for weightless, and the rhythm sounds off, and because you're calling attention to too many unstressed syllables, it's confusing to decode what the person's saying. Now, there's a problem here, right? You can probably see it. The spelling of completely and the spelling of weightless, the schwa spelling, there's the O in completely, there's the E in weightless. How on earth do you know where this schwa is in words? How can you learn how to apply this lazy thing if you have no idea where this schwa sound is? And it's really confusing. We've covered this in previous videos, but really the process I encourage you to go through is first to spot these patterns, because there are more words like completely, there are more words like weightless. I've already given you a few. Now, that's the first step, but then of course, there are so many patterns to learn as well. So what we can do is we can group them together. So here's the group for today. It includes words like weightless, but it also includes words with a ness ending as well. That's another schwa pattern, ness, like weightlessness or emptiness. Can you hear? It's the same lazy sound. There's another one which is very similar in spelling, which is the ist ending. So fastest, longest, greatest. Can you hear? I'm making the ends of those lazy. I'm not saying fastest, longest, greatest. I'm saying fastest, longest, greatest. So that's the group for today. Then there's another problem you might have, because then you go, well, hang on, all these groups, how am I going to learn all these? The next step to that is to make a memorable way to remember each group. Give it a memorable name. So the name of this list is The Fastest Way to Weightlessness. The fastest way to weightlessness. Just remember that one phrase. It's going to help you to unlock, to remember all of the patterns within that group, and find a way that works for you to remember that title. Think of a memorable, crazy, funny, interesting way to remember the fastest way to weightlessness. What might that mean to you? What could you imagine to help you memorize that? And you can do the same thing for the other groups. So words like completely, that's in the connect completely group. And there are 12 of these, 12 memorable schwa sets that I've been covering in this video series. One set for every video. This is video number 12. So find a vivid image in your mind or a good way to remember each group, and I've suggested a title for each, a sentence or a phrase which will help you to remember the group. and then go from there. Just get familiar with those names, the fastest way to weightlessness. Connect completely. There are more, like a useful but immoral label. There are 12 in this list, and that's the best way you can do it. But how do you practice all this stuff? Where can you go to practice? If you go to my website, I'll leave a link in the description below. You can find one page for every single set in this series. And that page has the video, it has word examples, it has sentence examples, more than you've seen in these videos. Plus it's got exceptions too. And you can hear audio for every single thing. Right now, it's available for free on my website. So click on the link in the description and you can get started working on these things and start getting more natural in your speech. Just pick one or two that you find really tricky. Start working on those ones first. And then once you've worked on the loads of examples and the sentences, then simply remember the name of that set as a way to go about your day and remember the words that are hidden inside that group. And that's it. So if you found anything particularly tricky from watching this video series and you want to ask about it, then leave a comment below. And because this is the last video in this series, I'm looking for inspiration and suggestions on more topics to cover, whether that's about word linking and intonation, word stress, sentence stress, vowel and consonant sounds, anything that you're finding tricky, leave a comment and ask me, and there's a chance I'll make a video on that very topic. So I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you in the next video. Take care.